Welcome to Gaza Fight Back, where we dive deep into the struggles in Palestine and the resilience of its people. I'm Luna Adam, your host. Today, we'll tackle a pressing question: what happens after the bombs stop falling? You see, a ceasefire might suggest that life is returning to normal, but in Gaza, it often reveals a devastating landscape, a complex healing journey. So how do communities rebuild, and what sparks hope amidst such profound loss? Joining me today is Dr. Mohammed AlAqad, a remarkable survivor and expert in Palestinian studies. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Luna. It's really vital we understand the harsh realities faced in Gaza. Even when the violence stops, the suffering continues.
Absolutely, Dr. AlAqad. People often see a ceasefire as a gateway to recovery. But what does it really signify for those living in Gaza?
Well, it's more like a pause button. When those airstrikes end, folks confront the ruins of their lives: starvation, homelessness, trauma. It's a superficial relief. The underlying war, it continues to haunt them.
Right. Historically, ceasefires in Gaza tend to be fleeting. What psychological effects does this uncertainty create, particularly in the minds of the people?
It creates a constant state of dread. Living with that uncertainty feels like, waiting for the next disaster to strike, and it can wear down one's spirit completely.
Exactly. That kind of suspense breeds persistent fear. Futures become so unclear, especially for children who should, be growing up in a safe and secure environment.
Speaking of children, oh my gosh, the impact on their mental well-being must, be catastrophic. Can you share insights on the trauma experienced by civilians, particularly the kids?
I've seen families torn apart in an instant. Mothers grieve unbearable losses, and children suffer extreme PTSD, plagued by nightmares. Some even lose their ability to speak. It's utterly heartbreaking.
Oh wow, that's just devastating. What kind of resources do trauma survivors actually have in Gaza?
Sadly, there are minimal resources available. The mental health infrastructure is almost non-existent. People are prioritizing survival, so, international support for healing is critically needed.
It's not just about, rebuilding houses, but entire lives. What do you see as the main challenges to rebuilding Gaza?
There are three major hurdles: the scale of destruction, the blockade that limits access to reconstruction materials, and the economic collapse that leaves people with so little. Aid often faces delays, complicating recovery efforts significantly.
Wow, that sounds incredibly challenging. The resilience of the people in Gaza is truly inspiring. What keeps their spirits alive despite such staggering odds?
Their faith and community spirit are absolutely pivotal. The belief in a free Palestine fuels hope and fosters a unique support within the community, really.
That's really moving. But what needs to happen for Gaza to avoid spiraling into yet another cycle of violence?
Well, for breaking that vicious cycle, we need justice, accountability, and political action. Justice means recognizing the atrocities and holding the perpetrators accountable. Accountability also means ceasing arms supplies that fuel further violence. Finally, political action is necessary to end the occupation, allowing Palestinians to live with dignity.
This is such a crucial conversation. Thank you, Dr. AlAqad, for sharing your invaluable insights.
Thank you, Luna. Listeners, please amplify our voices and advocate for justice.
If this episode resonated with you, take action, educate yourself, support Palestinian-led organizations, challenge media biases, and definitely speak out against war crimes. Gaza deserves justice.